let's jump into this one today. But before I forget, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to consider these words from me about resilience, about my journey towards resilience, and hopefully that can connect with your journey towards resilience. Today's topic is called tuning in. In this topic, I want to go a little bit deeper into how we do not think and that we can only observe. Let's stick with this discussion for maybe this episode, maybe two. We'll see how I get through this. In my quest and question about the essence of thought, of thinking, I had that desire and search for about decades. I just wanted to know what that could possibly look like, feel like, and just know it. And then, lo and behold, I happened upon a book called The Three Magic Words, a book written many decades ago by Mr. U.S. Anderson. Just a great book, again, that I have recommended before, and I continue to become an advocate of reading that book. In a particular section, somewhere near the middle of the book, Mr. Anderson answered my long-time question about the beginning and ending of a thought. And he answered it saying, that does not exist. That thing I've been looking for decades. Again, he has known me. I'm reading his book decades after he wrote it. But what he wrote just smacked me back in my head about, stop looking for that. That question cannot be answered for you. And in the way he said it was that we do not think. Right there in black and white in his book, we, not just me looking for this answer to this question, we as human beings do not think. We can only observe the stream of thoughts coming to our mental screens, our brains, our minds, sometimes and apparently on a nonstop basis, all day, every day. So while I have remained, I guess, confused, but I need to remind myself of this resolution to my quest about thought, giving way to observation and then communication, giving rise to my perspectives on resilience and what I was able to relay and relate to you in the book itself, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, and in these 820 episodes. I observed another new part of that conscious stream coming across my mind. I had said, and I asked you to consider this premise, that since we do not think, that we can only observe the sounds, images, ideas, advertisements, positive and negative ideas broadcasted to us on a moment-to-moment, day-to-day schedule, that we now have the opportunity to choose and decide on which parts of that constant stream of information or misinformation that we have tuned into that day or this moment. Now remember, what I've said to you before and over the past year or so on resilience, about how critical it is to start with the question, what drives you? What is your beauty that leads you and refines your purpose and message? With that foundation, I propose to you as the first step after your confirmed and defined presence. And to maintain that currency, now it's time to produce from that presence. Now, that may sound like a complex or complicated process for this thing I'm saying is common to us called resilience. But the structure and the path to your resilience is not a very long or arduous trip. It is inside of you, not in your head, but in your heart as the metric for what I ask about what drives you. But that is something that many of us, including myself, resist to do, to execute on that non-ego, non-fear-driven self-discovery and agreement with ourselves on who and what we are at our essence. And that is the common connection I propose that we all have and have the opportunity. I would even go further to say responsibility and accountability to share your purpose and message beyond the reach of your toes and fingers. You gotta take it outside for the good, bad, and ugly responses that you may get. So let's refresh to that seemingly constant stream of news and non-news and non-now stuff coming onto your mental screen. Take this example. In your car, you usually make a decision on what you will listen to, which station that interests you for entertainment or education, right? Or maybe you produce your own playlist on your devices with what you desire to hear on that drive. You have tuned in to a certain channel or station or playlist, right? All right, so thank you for allowing me to describe the process of resilience in this way. Let's continue this. You may have heard a statement about what you put out into the world through your actions or inactions, through your words and gestures, judgments, attachments, or resistance. That stuff comes back to you or forward with you on your journey. No, it may not necessarily come back or appear as a linear response to what you put out there. But as they say, karma is a bitch, and you will experience some reaction to your action and your inactions. That means that while neither you nor I can affect the constant and definitely corrupted list of stations broadcasting at us 24/7, the measure I outline for you may help you. That aspect, that self-discovery work required to establish your baseline about what drives you, your desire, your purpose, your message, and from your beauty. Given that premise, your premise can emit that type of frequency, or maybe that requested frequency, that station or stations or playlist you would like to hear and experience on your daily trip. Maybe like back in the day, I'm dating myself here, but back in the day you would call into a radio station and you request a song, and maybe you might win the prize. You get on the air and they play your favorite song. Well, that's the analogy I want to share with you. When you put out or refine that question about what drives you, even if you never call into the station, you are still emitting a request signal, a spiritual signal that represents your desire and what does drive you. And the universal subconscious mind, aka your creator, your Buddha, whatever you want to call it, provides you with that stream to witness and observe. And now for you to choose and decide on. So, if you can apply your best discipline and focus on the positive progression of your resilience, your list of broadcast stations gets refined and restricted to your defined desire and drive, making your effort easier to sift through the non-value added information from stations that you may have butt dialed yourself into. Because now you have started to develop that discernment from your heart, not from your head. The positive yes and love stream of guidance and from your Creator remains pure. But given the open systems of this world, there are entities that will apply a tax or a tariff or algorithm or flat out bad information into that pure stream. Almost like someone pissing into a beautiful country stream that you tend to drink out of. Just throwing it in for context. So even with our best intentions and attention to truth and resilience, we will need a filter or two to enjoy the drink, to receive the original message as pure as we can from the source. So tune in to what drives you. Commit to that conversation, that battle between your arrogance and your courage. Get to the positive and yes and love side of that balance. To enjoy and share openly your resilience. Pardon me for running over my time frame today, but I want to complete this for you. And instead of cutting up, that's the message today on tuning in. Stay present. Stay current. No matter where you are in this world, remember, and tell someone next to you, it's always 8:20.